Thanks, Brett. Welcome to Game Day Battle, where Cleveland sports news meets biased and outspoken opinion. We are going to venture into a number of different topics, especially Cleveland focused, of course, because that's what we do. The first thing that I think we're going to probably get into is the Cavaliers situation. You know, we've had some ups, we've had some downs. We're going to look at some really interesting stuff in wine and gold country. Also, the Buckeyes on a bit of a slide. They've been kind of a fun thing for us to talk about this year, and not so much right now. But we've got the tournament around the corner, so we need to look at a lot of things right now with the Scarlet and Gray. We have a very full show. Unfortunately, not a very full crew tonight. Dale is very, very sick, so
sick.
I think Brett's calling him out right now. So
no, that's what he has is nothing to play around.
It's nothing. So
go to the hospital, dude.
Nothing to play around with. So yeah, we really hope that he gets better and hope that he can get back with us soon. I know he really wants to. So DST not with us. Brett Finnegan, however, is carrying that half the table.
Wow, is that a fat joke?
Yeah, it really was. DJ Felix trying to hold himself up after a tough day of work, a long day of work, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
so good to have you manning on my class. All right, so the Cavaliers are maybe not the team that they were earlier in the season, but let's just look a little bit before we get into the whole LeBron's return and a specific little quote that he had, a few of them maybe. Let's look at where they're at right now. In January, they were 7-10, and in February, 4-5 so far. So this isn't horrible, but it's also not 500 ball. And if you look at February alone, the 4 wins, 5 losses includes a win against the world champion Mavericks, and that was awesome, and also a win against the Clippers, who are stacked. And that was an outstanding game and a great effort by the whole team. That also includes 2 losses against the Heat, one in Miami and one in Cleveland. And that's one thing that I think that we're going to start off with, or at least look at real quickly with the Cavs, is LeBron's return to Cleveland for the first time with the Kyrie Irving team. This is the new era, this is the new team, and of course, there has to be some controversy. Now, maybe this is fueled by the whole insanity, being the craze, being what everybody's talking about. LeBron wanted some of the spotlight on him, possibly, he wanted to just kind of let people know that in 2014 he might want to come back to Cleveland.
I'm going to say no. I don't want him back whatsoever.
At all.
The way that absolutely not. I don't care if he wanted to come back to Cleveland and play for free. I would not want him back just the way that he went out. I mean, that was he lost his chance to look at free agency. He lost his chance on trying to get numerous guys on that floor and on this team. And the way that he left, it was just was Abraham Lincoln who just got shot in the back of the head. Man, it was just wow. On President's Day, it's awesome.
All right, that was well played, man. Well played. I was about to say that.
But I was just I really do think this was just a thing that he said to get underneath Cleveland's skin.
So you think it was more to to take Clevelanders off, maybe?
Yes, it was. It was one of those type things. The game, they've been here since they were there 3 days here in Cleveland before the actual game. Insanity was probably in the spotlight too. Mm-hmm. He was out of it, but screw you, LeBron.
All right, I like it. Before we
West has screwed your mom.
Bro, Ramon, if you were given the opportunity to sign LeBron now, and I'll be guaranteed a championship or 2.
In a basketball sense, yeah, I would. You know, you're talking about one of the greatest players to play the game. You know, as for a team aspect, you want him on your team because he's that good. Mm-hmm. I'd see it being a way to kind of repair his image on the way he left,
right?
And you know, you say what you want to say. He's from here. Not actually here, but from Akron. His family's still here. Everything. He's always going to have a tie here.
Is it possible that him coming back here, it then becomes his team again, not Kyrie's team, and suddenly you have maybe a problem developing among the players who are used to playing in the system as it is?
When he went to Miami, it was Dwayne Wade's team, and he said himself, "This is not my team. This is Dwayne's team."
And what does it become?
It still becomes to me. I still think it's Dwayne Wade.
He's played his best games without Wade in the game, so
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why you get a few good players on your team. In case you're missing one of the guys,
right.
You need somebody to step up. But
would correct you. They didn't get a few good players. They got a few all-stars.
Yeah.
I can take that. Well, let's move on to the team in general because there's a lot more going on with the Cavaliers that is at least more interesting. Let's look at our team leaders because that's always fun. Kyrie, points. Anderson, rebounds. Sessions, assists. And Thompson, blocks. And Thompson has been solid with leading the team in blocks all season long. And why? Because he's got that freakish wingspan, and he's kind of crazy like that. I don't see much from him elsewise, though. I mean, he doesn't seem to be doing much else with the team, and he may develop into a more diverse player, but he is out there defensively in a defensive role, I should say, and he's performing that role very well. Anderson, this is the killer. 4 to 6 weeks, broken wrist, I believe, and that is pretty damn tough.
I'll take it. Instead of having him out for the rest of the season, out 3 months or whatever,
right.
I'll take the 4 to 6 weeks and not have to have surgery or whatever. But yes, that was the killer of our season right there. That was.
Yep.
But now you're seeing some of these bench players coming up, and I think yesterday's game or the game against Sacramento when JJ came back, I think Tristan Thompson played a hell of a game defensively and offensively.
He's somebody that really can do a lot of different things. He's doesn't have the height, but he's got the reach, and you can do a lot of cool things like that. He can play like a center, even though he's not probably technically center size. So that's kind of nice. But Ramon, are you feeling like we're going to miss Anderson in a way that pretty much kills the season, kind of like me and Brett are saying, or are you thinking that we can overcome the Wild Things absence?
I mean, we got a pretty solid bench. Tristan is playing great defense, rebounding like crazy. He's learning from Barzal offensive boards. Man, I've been watching the kid for a lot this season, and he's showing a lot of reason why we got him at 4.
So you think he's earning his fourth pick? Okay,
definitely. And a sleeper on the coming off the bench, and now he's starting is Alonzo G. But he's playing great ball right now, and it just his passion for the game and him learning more and more every day. He's becoming a role player for this team.
Caspi leaves. That's fine.
Well, you bring up Caspi. Let's just talk about the JJ Caspi trade.
I know.
And
Segued.
It was a great segue. You were a true pro. Well, okay, so we've recently had the matchup, JJ and Caspi after the trade. Are you guys finding that either team made out on this? Would you rather have JJ back here? Are you happy with Caspi? Do you just not care about the trade altogether because it hasn't made a difference for anybody?
Oh, see. Well, watching the Sacramento game with JJ, you knew that he was very unhappy with Sacramento and very unhappy playing the team. Because he doesn't get a lot of minutes.
He was miserable in that game.
He doesn't get a lot of minutes. And they're trying to get him to stop shooting that outside shot, that elbow shot that Zydrunas Ilgauskas showed him, and he was pretty good at. And they wanted more like a down low and block-to-block type player. And he's not that type of player. He can run. He can dunk it. He can lay up it. He can shoot it. He's an all-around good player for that low post, and Sacramento's not using him for that. At this time, I wouldn't even mind having him back right now.
Really? Okay.
Trading them back for here's Caspi back. We don't want to. Here's JJ.
All right.
So, I mean, that'd be fun. Come on, Hickson, G, Kyrie, all on the floor. Come on.
Yeah, but you remember why Hickson was traded away? For the main reason was he had said some stuff in the locker room about how things used to be when LeBron was here, and they didn't like that at all.
Yeah, LeBron also said that he was sorry for what he said.
It doesn't make it all better. Ramon, if you had the opportunity to get JJ back, send Caspi away, would you do it? Do you think that the trade was good overall, or did you just not care?
It was a lose-lose for both teams, so they're both players are not even contributing at all to either team. We got Caspi, he's not even helping us out.
He's
3-point threat, it's not even a threat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 3-point.
He'll play one game, he'll have 15 points, the next one he'll have 1 or something like that. This real inconsistent ball. Hickson, the same as when he was here. didn't really show anything. First 2 quarters, 15 points, and then you would fall off the third and fourth quarter where we needed them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lose-lose, you know. So we got rid of a loser and got picked up a loser.
So, you know, I got to agree. I think with you, Ramon, at least, I think it's a wash. I think that there's a couple things that we got out of this trade. Well, not from Caspi's play, but just from the trade itself,
Yeah,
from the
draft.
details of the trade. We got the ability to avoid big money for JJ because he was going to be wanting some bigger money. We didn't pay him that. The other thing that we got was we got that first-round draft pick. Now, it's a conditional first-round pick, so it's going to go for the next 2 or 3 years, and it has to be outside of the top 10, I think, or the top 17, I think, for the first year, or whatever, 13, and then it gets a little bit lower. But after like 3 years, it automatically defaults to a second-round pick, and then it becomes nothing. But the reality is we're probably going to get that first-round pick because at some point they're going to be a better team than they are now, and they're going to have a lower pick. So that's a nice little bonus. And at this point, Byron Scott likes Caspi, and he's happy with his development. He thinks he's got a ways to go. But if your coach is happy with your player, I think you got to be at least on board with the situation as it is right now.
All right,
That's on Lake Erie?
Yeah.
So Lake Erie Monsters have had an up and down season. It's been fun, a little stressful at the beginning, but we've kind of righted the ship. I think we're at an up right now, right?
Yeah, we're definitely on an up right now. We're 6-2-1 in the month of February with 2 more games to go in the month. At home against on Thursday 23rd against Hershey. Then we're on the road to finish out the season. Finish out the month, I should say.
So it's been a bit of a road to get to this point, and of course we had the struggles early on. But I mean, just take us through a little bit of what got us here as far as getting sort of back to where we want to be.
You know what it is really? It's the health. You know, we had a lot of players that are injured, a lot of players that are, we still have Seti, who's our goalie, Cedric Desjardins. He got called up to Colorado as soon as his groin got healed, so he's in Colorado right now. But, Coleman, our goalie we picked out of Alaska, is playing out of his mind right now. He's got a couple losses here or there, but, he's 6'7". He's a beast in that goal, so he's got more wins than losses, but it's good. But we need those key wins, though, against the division.
Well, and sometimes that's what it is. When you're playing in sort of a minor league situation, you've got to bring up guys that can step in and fill in like the big players do, because where do the big players go? They step up to the next league. So it's really, I got the opportunity to see that goalie, and he pretty much takes up the entire goal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a little bit unfair, but no, he's really impressive. Well, and there's probably some that might be hockey fans, or not even hockey fans, but Cleveland fans that are interested. They may not realize it's not so much about the wins and losses, as we've talked about before. Those help. The wins definitely for sure, but it's points based. So you get points for what you do, even in a loss situation, or if you can take it to a shootout, that sort of a thing. So what we've done so far, I know we've won a lot more games than we did early on, but we've also been able to recoup some of the
those single game points. Yep, we had a nice shootout loss. They got us a point to get us back up there. We like I said, we were 6-2-1, so a lot of these points come with with the wins because of those double points. But we haven't had too much an opportunity to play in the overtime or in the shootout. But every point helps in either the NHL or AHL. Right. And you'll see teams right now battling for every point they can get. You'll see you're going to see teams pulling the goalie a little bit earlier, like 2 minutes left in the game, to get that 6 man out there to maybe get another point in there. So it's gonna be a wild and crazy run. So
well, and that's what makes the league so exciting, is how intense it is from the start of the game to the very last second, and that's really fun.